Hey, YouTube. Thank you for the 52 subscribers. I've been watching the TwoPersonal podcast with Taylor and Taylor Rooks, and they are asking the question, what makes a good man? What makes a good woman? Specifically, if you were a man, would you be a good one?
I'm kind of a good woman, like here again, loving stuff. No, actually, the reason why I like the question is because for a long time, maybe I was going through this self-deprecating space.
How many of us have done that?
I would say I don't know how good of a person I am.
Yeah, I've definitely asked myself that too. How good am I to myself? If I'm bad to myself, does that make me a bad person? How good am I? How bad am I to the issues around the world, to my friends? Mostly when it comes to the people around me, I've thought about that kind of stuff.
And my friends would check me when I'd say it and say, stop saying that. You are a good person. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know that I'm a good person. When I think of the decisions that I've made that have harmed people or, bad decisions that I've made, I don't.
That's a good start though, Joy. That's a good start. But it is true, right? Let's say you're just hurting people over and over and over again, and you're like, I should work on that. But you still do it. I don't know if that makes you good. It's good that you're thinking about it, but you should probably stop.
I don't know that those things qualify me as a good person, but what's good, what's bad. But the idea of a good man, and if you and your personality were given the spaces that we just in society allow men to have, would you take advantage of those things?
Oh, this is going to get spicy because they're talking about men. The red pill community is about to burn. They're going to melt.
And sometimes men take advantage of things not even really knowing that they are taking advantage of it because, as we know, men are the defaults.
Yo, check this out, guys. These women, if they were to go into a room where you and I were in there, they're probably going to be running shit because they're at a tier higher than us in terms of what we deem successful. So out of respect, depending on the context of whatever we're doing, if they're in the room with us, we're probably saying, I'm in a good space. I'm with smarter people. Again, right? This is probably something that Joy, even when she's like, what makes a good person? She'd probably agree like, well, what makes me smarter or whatever. But we're probably just going to assume that. And we're going to want to hear what Joy has to say. Potentially. I don't know. I would. For them to be at that success level and still say men are the default, that means that at the tier that they're at, they're probably still dealing with this toxic masculinity. You can't get away from it. It's almost like when you had the Clippers owner. Oh, what was his name? The Clippers owner who made those awful racist remarks. You remember, guys? I mean, there's even a series right now called Clipped that talks about that. And I bring that up because that dude is a billionaire. So he's at a different tier. And he was like, why are you bringing black men to my arena? And his mistress was like, Magic Johnson? You're talking about Magic Johnson? And I bring that up to say, it doesn't matter what tier you're in. You can't escape the things that are true. Racism does exist. And this isn't a video about racism. I am comparing. I am using some form of analogy to relate to what Taylor is saying. Joy. She's talking about men running things by default. But she's clearly successful. Now, I'm not criticizing her. I am saying that she probably still deals with that in the spaces that she's at, which is a higher space, a higher tier than what you and I are accustomed to. So she probably has something to say that could teach us something. If that makes you angry, I mean, what she's talking about men right now, guys. It's like going to a woman's mental health conference and being upset that they're talking about women's mental health only.
So they just grow up in a society where the basketball team is the men's team. We don't call it the men's team. It's just basketball team. We don't call this, it's everything is like, everything that has to do with women has to be the female this, has to be women's this. We can go on and on about this. But yeah, it's been a really fascinating journey the past few weeks to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I would be a good man.
Interesting. It's also interesting because she was reflecting on, am I a good person? And let's say, based off what she said, if you haven't been a good person as a woman, then yeah, maybe you wouldn't be a good man.
Well, I don't know. I think, like, to your point about when you are in a certain, I don't know, circle or life, or there's things that are presented to you, it's probably really hard to not take advantage of it. Like, that's what things have been since the beginning of time. Like, when you ask, like, okay, would you be a good man? I'm like, well, what are the things that I would want if I was a man?
I will say this, though. If you had things that were just given to you, offered to you because you're a man, you could be a really nice person and you could take advantage of those opportunities and help others. Guys, there are ways to take advantage of privileges in order to help others. And I would hope that I do that.
And how would
What are the things that you want in a man that make a man a good man? Because we all know bad, like we all know objectively bad men, like, and not just because of who they are as people, like the way that they treat other people, like who they are as a man is bad. Like,
yeah, again, people, but they're talking about men in this case, so it's okay.
You have these things that you are aware that you have access to as men, that you deserve a bad man. And we also know bad women for the
you deserve
bad people and they're bad women.
Dude. Yeah, she's covering her P's and Q's. Like, she had to say women too, because the incels are gonna go crazy.
Know that. We also know, like, the angels, right? Like, you have someone in your life that you consider to be like the best of the best, right? You'd need to see the video and presumed innocent to believe that they ever did anything wrong.
Let's see, the only thing I would like object to is I still think somebody could be like a great human being, nice, just angel, all the amazing adjectives in the world apply to them. But that doesn't mean that they'd be a good partner. Because
yeah, that's dope. Yes, absolutely. And sometimes you can really think about it like, but they're so awesome. Why is it not working out? Or why are they like this with me and not with them? Things like that,
It depends on what you're looking for in your partner. Like,
yeah,
it's like, it's so...
Depends on what you're looking for, absolutely. And a lot of times, maybe even most of the times, when you're not getting what you want from your partner, it's not because they are bad or they're missing something. It's because they just don't offer you that thing you want, the various things you want. Maybe they are getting something from you that they don't want. And those things aren't necessarily bad things. You not being able to provide a certain thing to the person you're with, a friend or whatever, it's not bad. It's just you don't offer it. And that's okay. It gets pretty toxic when you need to offer this to me because I want it. And it's like, no, it needs to be, there are people out there willing to offer me that. So go find those people, or those people will find you. You just got to be patient, got to be open to the possibility that not every individual is going to have that for you.
It's so up for interpretation on both sides of it. Like, you can be good person, not good partner.
Sure.
And also, some people aren't looking for the things that are in a person that you might consider a good person. Some people are looking for that little toxicity, unfortunately, right? Like, some people are looking for a little push-pull, a little like, I hate you, no, you love me, come back. Like, people...
They're not looking for it, per se. Because those people also be like, man, why do these things not work out? But they tend to gravitate towards that, maybe because of childhood issues, or whatever it might be.
Look for those things. And some people want somebody who isn't going to be like the nicest person to everyone. Like, I am not that way. I feel like I want somebody who is deeply kind to everyone, somebody who is respectful, somebody who is thoughtful, somebody who makes our relationship like the center of their earth. Like,
I want someone to like Google stuff when they don't know the answer and they look up the source, and then they even look up more information on the source and who's behind the source. That's one of the prerequisites for me.
I don't think that who you are is like an individual human, like with your friends, with people you know, automatically means that that's who you are in a relationship. I'd argue some people are actually vastly different in their relationship life.
Yeah, of course. And vastly different at work and vastly different on Reddit
Than they are in their everyday life.
I fundamentally agree. Which is why this question is so interesting to me, because I don't know that there's a way to actually answer it, because I don't know that we can even define one side or the other, because
there are ways to answer it though. And I'm sure that Joyce, I understand what she's saying, but you can't get so far away from that you end up being like, yeah, we don't know how to answer that. You can determine for yourself what makes a good person.
You could be an amazing husband, an incredible father, provide for your family, be consistent, take out the trash, go to church, and be a contract killer.
Yeah, true. And then the church thing is like, you know what I mean? For me, that's probably one of the least descriptive things on who you are, going to church. I just wanted to share my opinion on that. Admittedly, I've been watching the TwoPersonal podcast and also realizing these are the only two women I watch in the podcast, listen to. And there are moments where I'm like, what? Because they really are talking about probably what women talk about. It's at a different tier, and I try not to compare myself to them because they do live a different lifestyle. And living a certain lifestyle can alter the way you think. Again, this is not a criticism of them, but it was interesting to hear them say, in this case, Joy, still thinking that men, it's the default. Like this is a man's world. And I can't say I disagree. We could make another video on that maybe some other time. But for them to be where they're at in life and still say this feels like a man's world, they probably are saying something for a reason. They're probably in a conference room, in an office, and they have to make themselves a bit more noticed so that they can be noticed. If you want to argue with that, go right ahead. You guys can do it in the comments. I also really like something about them, guys, and I want to show you this here. You see this? 11,000 subscribers, 2.5 views 5 days ago. If you want to start your YouTube channel, start your YouTube channel. These are very successful women, and their channel is slowly growing. And it's because they're putting out more and more content. They didn't just blow up because they already have a name in the sports industry. And if you see other content out there, you just have to say something bad about the LGBTQ community, or you just have to say something bad about women, and you can blow up fairly quickly. I would say take some inspiration from Taylor Rooks and Joy Taylor and just start your YouTube channel already. And admittedly, if you have a bunch of hateful things to say, you're probably going to grow a lot faster than them. You're definitely going to grow a lot faster than me. I just wanted to share that. Watching their subscriber numbers and view numbers incrementally grow. Again, I won't compare myself to them, but it's inspiring to see very busy people, because they got other things going on, take the time to work on something that they seem passionate about. Their little podcast that they just started. I think it's awesome. With that said, I appreciate my 52 subscribers. I am looking forward to Apex Legends Season 22 dropping today at 12 p.m. Central Time. Oh my goodness. Take care, everyone.